This stadium is going to go absolutely crazy. She's been having people ask her for autographs. She told us the entire week that she has been here. But how do you advise an athlete like that to still race quickly and still go for perhaps a world record attempt here today, but not get too invested in the emotions of what this day is going to be like for her?
It's quite difficult to separate the two. However, if anyone can do it, it's an Olympic champion. Because you have to remember, being an Olympic champion means you're asked, in her case, 12 seconds to put together the best race of your life with millions of folks watching. So she knows the moment, and she's ready for it.
It's a very big year for track and field, specifically in the United States. The Puma American Track League getting started outdoors here today. But tell me about the psychology of early season racing. The World Championships are in Eugene here in the United States this year. How are you talking to athletes, your specific athletes? How do they approach mentally a race like this one early in the season still?
In time past, you'd want to come to a meet like this and you figure, okay, let me just come and shake the cobwebs out. But that doesn't happen anymore. You look at the list for each event today and they're superstars, maybe 4 or 5 deep.
Absolutely right. Well, one of those superstars, Jasmine Camacho-Quinn, we mentioned her. She's standing by as we say hello to one of the other members of our talented team, Carrie Tollefson.
All right, Jasmine, we're back in Puerto Rico. I mean, the crowd's going crazy. They love you so much here. Talk about what it feels like to be back.
I'm really excited to be back, just to be able to compete in the hurdles in front of everyone. I'm looking forward to it, and I don't know, I'm ready to put on a show.
Oh, ready to put on a show. Your aunts are here. You have family in the crowd. You've been running and warming up already in front of these youth athletes. They're stopping you, saying hi. It must be pretty special to have 20 other countries here in Puerto Rico, along with Puerto Rico, getting ready to compete.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, just for everybody just to come here to compete. Like, I love this, and I hope this can continue, honestly.
Well, when you're happy, you run fast. So we're glad you're happy. You love it here, and we can't wait to see you race.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Carrie. When we come back, we get the party started in Puerto Rico. The women's 400 hurdles kicks us off at the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic. Will Bowling and Clyde Bryant with you here in the booth. You've already heard from Carrie Tollefson down on the field as well. We've got a talented crew, and we've got a ton of people here to help bring you an all-access look at this competition. Let's go down to the field and say hello to one of the other members of our crew, Lewis Johnson, standing by.
Hey, Will, thanks very much. Down here on the infield, where we're expecting to have a lot of fun with the field events. We've got the pole vault happening, the shot put, the long jump, and all that's going on. And so I'll be here talking to some of the athletes behind the scenes as they're jumping. Also going to do something very different here behind these scenes, and that's catch up with some of the coaches, chat with them, and some of the other folks who help the athletes get here on this journey to who knows where throughout the 2022 season. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff happening online. Serenity Douglas is here with me tonight. And so, Serenity, tell everybody what you're going to be doing throughout the broadcast.
I'm actually live right now.
Right now? Oh, there it is. Yes,
on the American Track League Instagram page. I'm going to be asking all the track fanatics track questions for track trivia. That's a tongue twister for me.
It is.
To win Puma gift cards. So if you guys know a lot about track and field, look at your guys' phone, and you guys can answer all of the questions, and we will send it to you guys.
That's awesome. Now, how will fans out there watching know that they won?
Say your name, where you're from, and the Puma representative will DM you guys personally.
That's pretty cool. All right, Serenity's going to do her thing. Her phone is right there, so she's watching this on Instagram Live right there, and I'll be down here with the field events. We're looking forward to a great time down here and having a lot of fun over the next 2 hours, American Track League style. Will.
Thank you very much, Lewis. We look forward to following along with all of that coverage, and we are looking right now at the pole vault competition that is getting started right now, one of the many field events that we're going to be keeping you updated on. And a good clearance there, Claude. And we have got a lot of very good athletes in this one, but Sandy Morris specifically, one of the stars here of this entire competition.
Absolutely. Whenever there's a pole vault event and Sandy Morris is there, she's absolutely one of the stars of the show. Sandy Morris, and we must also mention Stefanidi, the Greek pole vaulter. They finished first and second in Rio with the Greek obliging. And now we can say that for the last almost a decade, those two have been going at it, waging a wonderful pole vault war.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As we continue to look here at the pole vault, we've got pole vault. We have also got a fantastic triple jump competition for the men that we'll tell you more about as the competition continues today. We've got long jump that is getting started, but that's one of the goals, Claude, of the Puma American Track League is the all-access look, and not only the races that are going on, but the field events just like this one. I know pole vaulter specifically, it's such a long competition, it's hard to stay dialed in for the entire thing, right? One of the goals of what this entire crew wants to do is take you jump by jump and get you access, because they're pretty world-class in this competition as well.
Absolutely, and I think it's good for the sport that the cameras are indeed featuring the field events. The pole vault, later on we'll have the men's triple jump coming up. We have the women's long jump going on now. But as we pan to the pole vault, what you will see, jumpers such as Sandy Morris and Stefanidi, they may delay their entry into the competition and wait until the bar gets to a height that they think is what poses an initial challenge for them.
We've got two Puerto Ricans competing in this competition as well, Viviana Quintana and Diamara Planel. In our women's pole vault, of course, Sandy Morris, a three-time world silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist in Rio. As you see, it is quite the process to get ready and get amped up for a pole vault competition, I imagine, because you want to be top speed, you want to be running in as fast as possible, but the concentration that it would take is also quite difficult.
It is. And I mentioned earlier that what you find is that the top jumpers, they may delay their entry into the competition, and that can be a little intimidating for the less accomplished pole vaulters.
Sure.
Because you're out there jumping, and a Sandy Morris or a Stefanidi may just be sitting, relaxing, listening to music or whatever other methodology they use to relax, and you're out there jumping. So it can be a little intimidating. And then you throw in the fact that they are at home, and so there's a pressure of performing in front of friends and families.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As you see Sandy Morris going through that process, and Claude, as you know, the good ones, they've got a process, right? It's pretty loose. It's relaxed at this point for them to not be thinking too much about the competition, but still kind of staying in that zone. Got to be difficult to be in the zone, but also try to be as relaxed as possible, because Sandy Morris might have to wait a little while before she's jumping.
When you're as experienced as Sandy Morris, you know how to find that happy medium between being comfortable and ensuring that you don't fall asleep competitively. So you may find occasionally a Sandy Morris or a Stefanidi may step in and take a jump just to get rid of the nervousness or just to see what the pit feels like.
You're absolutely right. As we get a look at this competition, this crowd that is completely packed as well, Claude. It is an outstanding crowd that we've got here in Puerto Rico. These fans love their track and field.
Clearly, and let's not fool ourselves. I think the majority of them are here for Jasmine Camacho-Quinn at the end of the program. I will point out that the world lead is currently 4.71 meters, and that's being, the world leader is actually here, Culver. So we can expect a good show from Culver as well. And then we have two jumpers who have jumped 4.70 meters, or vaulted, if you will. So it could be a very intense competition and we can expect a world leader tonight.
Let's go down to the field once again and check in with Lewis Johnson.
All right, Will, as we promised, American Track League style behind the scenes talking to Sandy Morris before she gets out here to jump. All the jumpers are kind of warming up. It's been kind of windy. We've had some rain blow through. So how are the conditions kind of affecting the warm up and the prep to get started?
Yeah, things were a little bit delayed with the rain, and some days you just have to come out here and you have to be a warrior. Conditions are not going to be perfect. It's going to be a fight, and it might be one of those days, but just go from a little bit shorter approach or go down on your grip a little bit to be safe and just execute jumps no matter what the weather's doing.
Okay, let's go inside. From a regular approach to a shorter approach, what's the difference?
So you're just going from fewer steps, and you're not able to jump on as big of poles, so you have to be a little bit more clean and efficient with your jumps in order to jump as high. But on a day like today where you've got a strong wind that can blow you in all directions, the pole's like a big sail. So, you don't want to be flying off the runway. It's dangerous. So gripping low is the safer way to go.
Okay, I think that one of the trivia questions will be how many poles do you carry in your bag? So your bag is over there, is that right?
Yeah, it's the blue one second on the inside right there.
Okay,
blue
so
and pink.
everybody has quite a few poles that they carry around the world. What are some of the challenges, real quickly, that you face trying to get poles from place to place and get them to Puerto Rico?
Oh my gosh, traveling as a pole vaulter is very difficult. You have to fly on certain airplane sizes.
And you know those, right?
Yes, we have a manager who knows all of these things, and he can get us around the world. I don't know what I would do without him. Jeff Hartwig, thank you so much. Everything you do for us.
Jeff's the man.
Jeff is the man, and getting around is not easy. We carry him on our shoulder through airports. We get a lot of funny looks, but it keeps things entertaining. So.
And then finally, before you get started, you came off of an injury. You came on to win the World Indoors this year. So just tell us about this transition from injury to winning into now this season where you got the World Outdoor Championship opportunity later in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I have a fire in my belly. I lost Tokyo last year getting an injury and just felt like I had a chance taken away from me when those chances are so few in this sport. And then also we had to wait 5 years for that Olympics to come around because they got postponed, and it was all this buildup and then this big heartbreak. And I've proven that I'm making my comeback, and I felt so good winning World Indoors. I'm under a new coach right now. We're working on a lot of new things, so I kind of feel like a beginner again. But it's really fun. I'm learning new things every day, and I feel like I have a lot of room for improvement, and I'm going to carry that indoor momentum into outdoor season.
Awesome. We look forward to getting to see you start here and see how you deal with the winds and what have you. Great. Good luck today here in Puerto Rico, and hope it all goes well.
I appreciate it. Thank you, as always.
That's a lot of inside information. That's good stuff, huh, Will?
It is. Thank you so much, Lewis, as we will take a quick break and get you back for a little bit of action on the track. Ready to go. Coming up next from the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic. Welcome back to the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic. It is the Puma American Track League. Great to have you with us. The American Track League is brought to you by Puma. And also by the Puerto Rico Tourism Company. We are just about set for race number 1 here as you take a look continuing on in the pole vault competition, where the crowd has been very active in cheering on their hometown athletes. Their athletes donning the Puerto Rico uniform right there. We're going to get things started with the preliminary rounds in the men's 100. Will Bowling and Claude Bryan with you here. And what a time it is to be a 100-meter runner for the United States, Claude. And we're going to see a couple of the best here today, including Trayvon Bromell and Marvin Bracey, a man who's going to run here in heat number 1, and he has run the fastest time ever at the Puma American Track League. So you've got Marvin Bracey here in lane number 4, 9:85 last year in Memphis, an awfully good time here in the Puma American Track League.
I think all the questions about the readiness of this track was laid about within the last 3 weeks. They had a competition last week, but it was not a significant competition per se. Tonight is the first time that we're having professional athletes on this track, and the 100-meter straightaway will tell us all we need to know about the readiness of this track to give the athletes great results. Marvin Bracey, world indoor medalist, a 2-time world indoor medalist, 9:85 personal best. He is ready to go, and we should expect great things from him. There is also Isaiah Young in this race. He's a World Championship 200-meter finalist. So Bracey, Young are the two principals in this one. We cannot forget Johan Blake, who is the second fastest man in history at 9.69. He is not in that particular shape following a severe injury he sustained a few years ago, but you cannot discount someone who has run 9.69 previously.
You're absolutely right about that, as we take a look there as well at Isaiah Young, and who has run 9:89 as well. But Bracey, we talk about some of the stars of the Puma American Track League. 9:85 at the Ed Murphy Classic in Memphis last season, a career best for him. Claude, we also have Taekwondo Tracy running in lane number 2 right here, the Jamaican national champion a year ago at 100 meters. And anytime you're a Jamaican champion at any of the sprint events, quite impressive.
As they would say in Jamaica, respect due. And so you have to give Taekwondo Tracy that respect as the Jamaican sprint champion, a sub-10 performer as well. And we cannot discount Hakeem Sani Brown from Japan. He's a former World Youth Sprint double champion. So let's see what Hakeem Sani Brown has to offer this evening.
So there you see our entire field. Cloudy skies overhead. A little bit of rain earlier, though, knocking out some of the humidity. So it's a comfortable afternoon here in Ponce, Puerto Rico, a beautiful city nestled between the mountains and the beach here on the south side of this beautiful island. Our starters will give some final instructions. They will get these gentlemen ready, and we will be off and running for one of our premier events here this afternoon. If you're just now joining us, Puma American Track League here in Ponce. We mentioned Marvin Bracey, Trayvon Bromell coming up in the next heat, the fastest man in the world in 2021, Elaine Thompson-Herah, will race and captivate this crowd in the opening section of our women's 100 coming up just after this race. And these gentlemen, I believe, are just about ready to go. There you see Taekwondo Tracy representing Puma, proud sponsor of the American Track League. And Claude, isn't it incredible how everyone in this stadium has risen to their feet in preparation of this first starting race?
Yes, indeed. And the 100 meters demands that from the spectators. Consider the men's 100 the heavyweight boxing championship in boxing parlance.
And this crowd is ready to go, as are we, as are these gentlemen who have been standing there for a minute here. As you see our packed audience, it's a baseball stadium, but it becomes a world-class track venue for this event, for many others that happen here in Puerto Rico. And these fans are ready to go.
As the world indoor medalist, you'd expect Bracey to get a good start here.
And they are in
and
the
then
blocks.
You'd expect Isaiah Young, the 200-meter. You don't want to call him a specialist, but he's more adept at 200 meters. You'd expect him to be coming on at the business end of things.
First heat of 2 in our men's 100 prelims. Marvin Bracey, the fastest man in the history of the Puma American Track League, tries to retain that crown today, and he looks smooth in lane number 4, cruising to the line in the win. A fantastic tune-up for his final later this afternoon as we await the official time and take another look at this race.
As mentioned previously, Bracey would be first from the blocks, and he was. Perfect black clearance by Bracey. He's being closed down, but does just enough to win. 10-11, 10-28 for Kyrie King in second place.
So a great run
Adam
for...
Jamili did not finish.
Yeah. Marvin Bracey taking the opening section here. His training partner getting ready to go next year, Claude. Trayvon Bromell is one of the superstars of Team USA, not only in the 100 meters, but in all of the sprinting events. And Trayvon Bromell is a young man that lived up to those big expectations, the fastest man in the world in 2021.
Yes, indeed. Great things were expected from him at the Olympic Games last year. Unfortunately, it did not go the way he wanted. It's a new year, so let's see what Trayvon Bromell brings to the table now. He's also a former world indoor champion, and he is a world championship bronze medalist. We mentioned before that Bracey has a fantastic start. So does Bromell. Bromell tends to run a complete race, and he gets away very well, and it's very hard to call him back once he gets going.
There's your look at the 100-meter dash results. Section number 1 here with Bracey and King, a 1 and 2, 10-11 and 10-2. Some excellent times there. And the wind in their face right now as well, Claude. It's not necessarily great conditions at the moment for very, very fast times, but 10-11 into that wind, pretty impressive start for Mr. Bracey.
It speaks to the track. We wanted that question answered, and I think the track responded, I'm ready if the athletes are. We also have in this heat Zarnell Hughes, the European 100-meter champion. He was also a finalist in the Tokyo Olympic Games 100 meters. Unfortunately, he was adjudged to have jumped the gun, so he was disqualified in the final. Could not have been a happy occasion for Zarnell Hughes. He is a cosmopolitan figure, born in Anguilla, did his high school senior year in Jamaica, where he incidentally holds the Jamaican high school 100-meter record, and he competes internationally for Great Britain.
There is Trayvon Bromell right there, getting ready to run. Wind dying down just a little bit. Zarnell Hughes will be right on his outside in lane number 5. CJ Green, another guy that is looking for a good time here. Our final will be right before the women's 100-meter hurdle, so a little bit of time for them to die down and just relax a little bit and watch this meet.
CJ Green is one of those athletes who has been tinkering around the sub-10 barrier. Hasn't broken 10 flat as yet, but he's thereabouts. Another person to watch here would be young Akeem Blake out of Jamaica. He attended Merlin Ottey High School, and if you're familiar with track and field intimately, you'll know that Merlin Ottey is arguably the most decorated female sprinter Jamaica has ever produced. So Akeem Blake, he has actually defeated Johan Blake on a couple occasions this year. It's his second time away from Jamaica competitively. He competed in Florida last month. So Akeem Blake, welcome to the big times. Let's see what you have.
You're absolutely right. As these men will go through the final process, Trayvon Bromell, what do you think he's thinking right now as he waits for the start of this race?
Let's get this heat out of the way, and then it's on to redemption.
Right? He's had to wait there for a little bit.
And for viewers, you just want to make sure that you're in the top 3. Of course, I'm sure Bromell wants to win to send a message to Bracey. But it's a top 3, and then the 2 fastest times that advance to the finals.
Absolutely. You are right about that as Bromell continues to watch on and gets ready for the start of this one. That's got to be interesting, too, to race against, possibly in the final of this one, your training partner, and Marvin Bracey, a man who has run a lot of sprints, a lot of probably 300s and 200s with Mr. Brumell.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. However, in training there may be laughing and banter.
That's right.
But on the premise that Brumell makes it to the finals, there'll be no laughing. It will be all business.
So there is Akeem Blake. He's beaten Johan Blake twice this year, traveling outside Jamaica for the first time here this afternoon in Ponce, Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic here in the Puma American Track League. As the blocks will get set up, and we'll get these guys rolling here in just a moment.
We'd be remiss to not mention Michael Rogers, a veteran in the sport, World Indoor finalist, global relay medalist, 985 men. So he's also here as they get ready to get heat, or semifinal, if you will. Well, heat number 2 on the way.
From inside out, Ellis, Carnes, Green, Brumell, Hughes, you mentioned as well, and 5, Blake, Zane, and Rogers. And a little bit of a jump right there from Zarnell Hughes, it looked like, in lane 5.
Earlier we spoke to his demise at the Olympic Games last year in the finals. Then he was adjudged to have false started. Let's see what the officials have to say.
They will walk them back, and we will see that ruling.
Right now he's looking for the officials to walk over, and they will either show him a red or a green card.
And here's another look. Just a little bit of a jump right there, so Hughes is out.
So we're down to 7.
Yeah.
Fighting for 3 automatic spots.
So try number 2. Looking for a clean start right here in our second section of 100 prelims. So here we go in the second section of the men's 100. A good start for Brumell, a good start for Brandon Carnes as well in lane 2. Brumell surges and has a look to his right as he cruises through the line to take it. 10:06 the winning time.
Quite a relaxed effort by Brumell. Had enough time to take a peek at Akeem Blake on his right. I think Blake did himself proud, and I would not be surprised if he ran a personal best. But Trayvon Burrell, a clear winner here, 10.06.
So that will be something to watch for in the final. Brumell against Blake and against Bracey coming up later tonight. But up next, it is one of our stars of the meet. Elaine Thompson-Herah will take the track here in a couple of moments. The women's 100 expected to be just as quick as those men. We're having fun. Hope you are too. It's the Puma American Track League at Puerto Rico.
Los 3 mejores tiempos de esta primera serie y los dos mejores tiempos de los no clasificados avanzarán a la discusión, avanzarán a la final al filo de las 7:30 pasado meridiano. Ahí podemos ver quizás el primer registro por debajo de 10 segundos en suelo boricua. Próxima prueba en la pista, 100 metros planos para damas. Ahí tendremos la presencia de la segunda mujer más rápida en la historia en esta prueba. Doble campeona olímpica.
Welcome back to the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic here as a part of the Puma American Track League alongside Claude Bryant. I'm Will Bowling. Great to have you with us as we are getting ready for the Women's 100. And Claude, one of our superstars of the entire competition, ready to race right here.
Absolutely. Elaine Thompson-Herah, not just a superstar, but I think a megastar. She has done something no other female has ever done in the history of the sport at the Olympic level. So one can expect that Elaine Thompson should be able to stamp her authority on this field in the 100-meter heat 1. We also have here Jenna Prandini, more of a 200-meter specialist. She was a member of the U.S. team, which copped a silver medal in the 4x1 at the Tokyo Olympic Games. I'd also say be on the lookout for lane 1, Shakora Wallace from Jamaica.
So Elaine Thompson-Herah, 5-time Olympic champion. She's still only 29 years old. As you see Wallace there on the inside as well.
And Marla Kea Kinnison, a Rio Olympic gold medalist, goes out of lane number 2.
A hush over this crowd as they get ready to see the fastest woman alive, 10:54, her career best. Second all time. Quickly out of the blocks, there goes Elaine Thompson-Herah with a good start in lane number 2. Here comes Thompson-Herah along with Kinnison, and the veterans battle through the line, and Herah's finish was the quickest. 11:22, the winning time for her.
Was not your traditional start from Elaine, but once she got up and got into the second phase of her race, 30 meters in, she separated herself easily from the rest of the field. Kinnison ran a very evenly proportioned race when going through all her phases, her drive phase, her acceleration, and so she earned a second place finish as a consequence. Shania Collins, who has been running sub-10s all year, she ran 11:27 for third. Those were your qualifiers automatically into the finals.
So there is Elaine Thompson-Herah, one of the most talented Jamaican sprinters ever, and that is saying something considering the talent that has come out of that nation.
Including the present world leader, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
That's right. A Jamaican lockout on the medal podium in Tokyo, as she will get relaxed, get her feet up, and get ready for the final coming up here later tonight. So one section down and one more to go, as our ladies will get set, get started, and get in those blocks for the final instructions from our officials. Lane number 4 is who we're watching for right here. Claude, you mentioned Cambria Sturgis. She had the fastest time in the world until Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who you just mentioned, ran 10:67. What a talent she is, though, from the United States.
Yes, Sturgis is one of those to watch. She announced herself last year in no uncertain terms, taking the sprint double, the NCAA championships, running very fast times, albeit invaded. And as you mentioned previously, she has come into this year and had the world leader, now currently number 2 on the world list. So we can expect fantastic things from Cambria Sturgis, not just here, but going into the future.
There are your full lane assignments right there. Also looking in lane number 3 for Natalia White, representing Jamaica as well. Ran a new personal best a month ago. She didn't make the final at the Jamaican Championships a year ago. She's 9th in the world already this season. Natalia White has been terrific in 2022.
Natalia was not 100% healthy last year, so she's enjoying good health now, and her sub-11 performance speaks to that. There's also Michelle Liahi, the Trinidadian, who has won global relay medal before. And we should also point out that in this race, there is Kayla White, who is also a sub-10 performer. One more thing, Will, that I would want to advance to the viewers. In Trayvon Bromel's race, the wind reading was a positive 0.6.
Right.
However, the race immediately following that, Elaine Thompson's, the wind was a negative 2.2.
Right.
So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it is swirling wind here in Ponce, Puerto Rico. That is for sure. As you see Cambria Sturgis right there, NCAA champion at 100, at 200. And that is no small feat as well. And many say as well that the NCAA championships, that compares to an Olympic Games. It is one of the most entertaining track and field competitions to watch every year. Winning the 100 and 200, that does not happen a lot.
I concur. And outside of, especially in the sprints, outside of the United States and Jamaica, one could make a plausible argument that the NCAA offers up the best sprints in the world.
So Sturgis listens to the introductions here from the crowd in Puerto Rico. Ponce, such a great host for this event, as these ladies await our second and final gun here in these preliminary races in the 100. Gun is up, and we are ready to go.
Young Tamari Davis runs out of lane 1.
Crowd still on their feet, making noise. Looking for Sturgis in lane 4. Natalia White in lane 3, Sturgis in 4. And an even start here in our second section. Totally even to the finish as well, and it is too close to call anybody's race there in Heat 2.
too close to call is indeed correct. You could throw a blanket over the, but Sturgis obliged. 11:20 as we wait to see what the camera reads. But the young lady in lane number 2, Elaine, she was out very well. Also Kayla White. But Davis and Sturgis closed in a hurry, and Michelle Liahi. And at the end, it was Sturgis, Natalia White, and Michelle Liahi who actually caught the top 3 spots, which automatically moves them on to the finals.
Not a whole lot of wind there. Makes for some good times for Cambria Sturgis for the rest of that field in section number 2. As there you see the results here in our second section. And again, a reminder that Elaine Thompson-Herah will race with Natalia White and with Cambria Sturgis coming up later this evening. So a beautiful evening here in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Coming up next, the triple jump gets started. Athing Mo coming up as well. Women's 400 when we come back.
Lewis is Mike. Hello, test 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? Olivia? Olivia?
I can hear you. I can't hear really anyone else. I can hear Lewis, I guess. I just cannot hear Will and Claude at all.
Carrie, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay. All right.
This is his Instagram, you guys. His voice is flawed because he's too busy being great. Can I see the schedule for the... All right, you guys.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
We're doing good.
You think so?
Welcome back to Ponce, Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic here, a part of the Puma American Track League. Alongside Claude Bryan, I'm Will Bowling, Kerry Tollefson, Lewis Johnson, Serenity Douglas, our entire crew. Grateful to have you a part of our meet program here tonight. Athing Mo takes the track here in just a moment. It'll be the women's 400-meter run. We mentioned we want to keep you updated on all of the field events as well. Men's triple jump is just about to get started too. And we have got a superstar making his return to the runway in Christian Taylor, who we hope to hear from here later on this afternoon. But quickly, Claude, talking about Athing Mo. there are some athletes, you mentioned Elaine Thompson-Herah, who transcend track and field and are just global athletics superstars. I think Mo fits that category for Team USA.
And Elaine Thompson has been around for
Right.
in excess of 5 years.
That's right.
I think Mo just introduced herself to the wider track and field audience last year. 51.74 so far this year at 400, and an astounding 122.74 for 600 meters back at the Penn Relays. That sets up beautifully for a fantastic 400-meter performance here from her this evening. Point out to viewers, the 400-meter world leader is 49.87.
That's right.
Could we be on world leading watch tonight?
Well, anytime I think Mo takes the track, there is a chance that she is going to break an American record or set the fastest time in the world, as there you see. She's so poised as well, Claude. Her style, her personality has just this big personality, but she's so poised and calm. But when she makes her move in these races, everybody in the stadium knows it.
Including the other 7 athletes.
That's right. So introductions will continue here as I think Mo will go through her pre-race thoughts here. The gold medalist at 800, Olympic champion, undefeated in the 800 in 2021 at age 19. We talk about the maturity that she runs with, the maturity that many veterans would love to have, and she has got it at the end of her teenage years.
There are some subplots in this race. There is in lane 3, the Puerto Rican who is trying to accomplish the World Championship standard of 51.35. She ran 51.6 a few weeks ago. There is also Janelle Brumfield, who was on that Jamaican World Indoor gold medal 4x4 team. There is Jessica Beard, of course, who is a longtime veteran, if you will, of the U.S. 400-meter scene. Chris-Ann Gordon-Powell, interestingly, has been running more 800 meters than her standard 400 this year. She's a former NCAA 400-meter champion, now making 800-meter forays. But all eyes on Athing Mu.
Ready for the start. Women's 400 as the crowd gets quiet and rises to their feet. One of the superstars of track and field, Athing Mu, takes the track here at the Puma American Track League. She has already made up the stagger quickly, running awfully quick in lane number 5.
And she has actually closed the stagger on lane number 7. McDonald from Canada, of course, is out in the lead if you look at it, the stagger. And here comes on the inside also is Brumfield. But Athing Mu is now closing on McDonald from Canada in lane 8.
Making the turn in the women's 400, could we see the fastest time in the world this year here in Puerto Rico? The hometown hero, Gabby Scott, running very well in 3. Athing Mu surges into the final 50 meters. She glides to the finish line. We watch the clock as Athing wins another. And the crowd going crazy as well as Gabby Scott, the Puerto Rican, crosses the line too.
I suspect the world lead may have survived, but just a fantastic effort by Athing Mu as she pulled away down the home straight from the rest of the field. It was 2 separate races, one between Bloomfield, McDonald, and Gabby Scott, and Athing Mu all on her own chasing the world leader.
We are still waiting for the official time from our timers, but I think Mo will be happy with a win at 400. As you see Gabby Scott, that is what the Puma American Track League and this sport is about right there. The love and adoration she's feeling from this crowd, pretty incredible.
Yes, indeed. 50.42 for Athing Mu. Gabby Scott just misses out on her World Championship qualifier. But Athing Mu, she reminds the veterans in the sport of the sensational French long sprinter Marie-Jo Perec, who won the 200, 400 at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta.
Absolutely right. Let's go down to Carrie, who is standing by with Athing Mu.
All right, Athing, big last 100 there. You put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to come out and get a PR. I wasn't super happy with my 51.7 a couple weeks ago, so just wanted to come out here and PR, so that's exactly what happened.
You are an Olympic gold medalist. You're undefeated in the 800. You're an NCAA champion in the 400. You're so versatile. What's your favorite event?
Definitely 800. I mean, Olympic champion in the 800. What can be better than that? So
I love it. How was it out here tonight?
Definitely awesome. The crowd is incredible, whether they're cheering for me or not. I mean, the energy builds on me while I'm running, so I was very happy about that.
Well, you say your favorite event is the 800. We like you in any event. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Carrie. 50:42, the winning time for Athing Mo. And let's go in the field as well. And let's hear from Lewis Johnson, who's standing by with Bea Taylor, the wife of USA star Christian Taylor. Lewis?
That's right, Will. So they've gotten the warm-up completed and ready to go. And Bea, it is great to meet you finally for the first time. She and Christian were married just under a year, is that right?
Exactly, yeah. Last year we got married.
Last year you got married. That was a beautiful, I saw some of the photos that looked great. So you guys are recently married. Of course, you're coaching him as well. And now you're bringing Christian back from really this catastrophic injury back to his first event. What's the journey been like through weddings and then training and rehab to now get here to Ponce, Puerto Rico for his first event?
It's been quite an eventful year for the both of us. Last year was really a lot with his injury. We actually had 2 weddings due to COVID, so we couldn't have one big wedding. We had 2. That injury was really a lot, you know, emotionally, mentally, physically, and it's been quite the journey, I can say.
What is it about Christian that you saw, that you know, that maybe the others don't know about the way that he fought back to be able to get ready to compete with the world's right down the calendar?
I mean, I think for him, it's been really a faith journey, just trusting God that he can come back. I think for a jumper, you know, the Achilles, it's so important, and there's the big question, can I come back? And then can I come back and jump as far as I did before? And, I mean, we're still on this faith journey. We still have to trust. Today is the first jump. We don't really know how it's going to go. I think he's ready, but we also know we have quite the journey ahead of us, and we're just going to keep trusting.
I'm wondering if you're going to be inspired by him coming back, because you were in the Olympic final in 2012 in the 100 hurdles. You're retired. Have you ever thought about maybe coming back to the track?
I am so happy to be retired.
Okay.
I have way too much fun now, so no.
Okay.
No.
And you studied medicine, so I'm not sure if we should call you Dr. Bea. What specifically did you study?
I just studied medicine in Vienna, just general, and in Austria we specialize later on. So I have to pick a specialty later on, but I haven't done it yet.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you. Looking forward to see what Christian does. We wish all of you guys the best of luck tonight, and we'll watch what happens here and the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Likewise. Okay. All right, Will, you'll be on the triple jump one way in a little bit. We'll be watching.
Yes, we will, Lewis. Thank you so much. Men's triple jump getting started. We will keep you updated as that competition continues. And Christian Taylor, what a story. With an Achilles injury a season ago, back on the runway today. We will certainly get you updates on that. Back on the track, though, it's time for the men's 400. And there are your full lane assignments. Let's start, Claude, at lane number 5, Karani James. Anytime that he is in a field, he is going to be one of the favorites in this event.
Absolutely, Will. You can always expect a good race, great effort from Karani James. There is absolutely no weaknesses to any portion of his race. He runs a complete race. To beat Karani James, you just have to be better than him on the day.
He was gold in 2012 in London, silver in 2016, bronze in the Tokyo Games, and down in Bermuda, his season best this year, 45.63 so far this season. This is a really good field that we've got right here. Lane number 3, Sean Bailey, one of the talented Jamaicans at 400 meters. The Jamaican champion a year ago, Claude, at 45.04.
Yes, Bailey actually runs out of lane number 7.
That's right.
But yes, you are correct. And incidentally, Sean Bailey is the younger brother of Jamaican Olympic great Veronica Campbell-Brown. So Sean is obviously hoping that a little bit of Veronica would have rubbed off on him. There is also here Will London, who has won 2-time World Championship relay medalist. There's Bryce Deadman, who was on the American 4x4, which won Olympic gold in Tokyo. So it's a great field. There's Trevor Stewart, who was on the relay, the mixed relay in Tokyo. They won the bronze medal there. So great collection of stars for the men's 400 meters.
And
but
lane number 1,
James should oblige.
Right. And in lane number 1, we cannot forget about Ezekiel Suarez, who represents Puerto Rico. I think, Claude, now that the expectation is going to be that this crowd is just going to be deafeningly loud every single time that a Puerto Rican athlete is racing here this evening.
Absolutely. We saw where Gabby Scott was buoyed to a 51.42 personal best, and it's all building up gradually for the lady of the evening.
So Suarez in lane number 1 on the inside. He'll get to watch everybody get their start, as he does as well. But Karani James running in lane number 5, the athlete that we've got our eye on here in our men's 400. Karani James, Will London, Bryce Dedman, Sean Bailey. It's an excellent field of 400-meter runners, and they are off and running in front of this raucous crowd in Puerto Rico.
James and Dedman right now seem to have closed the stagger on the runners in front of them. Trevor Stewart is also doing well, and Will London is running quite well on the inside. But Karani James, look for him now to make his move.
And that is exactly what he is doing, with Trevor Stewart running right on his inside shoulder. Still anybody's race. Will London is in this one as well. They are side by side by side into the final 50 meters. And you see the speed of Karani James powering away from everybody. It's going to be a great time as well as he wins the men's 400.
Karani James, absolutely no weaknesses to his race. As mentioned previously, to beat him, you have to beat him on the day.
And here's another look.
As we turn into the home straight, again, arms pumping, because in the 400 meters, the legs are pretty much gone. So you have to ask the arms to carry the legs. And you look at Karani James, it's very instructional how he runs his 400 meters. Sean Bailey may have just gotten up for a second, eclipsing Trevor Stewart for the second spot.
So Karani James takes it. Good times all around. 44.7 is the winning time for him. As Karani James lights up this Puerto Rico crowd, and he's standing by with Carrie.
Karani James.
You look good out there. How'd you feel?
I'm just happy to be here competing against these guys. It's always an honor for me. So to be here in Puerto Rico competing, especially in this region, the Caribbean, I think it's fantastic.
3-time Olympic medalist. This is a big year. How does this meet set you up for the World Championships this summer?
Yeah, well, it's my second 400, so just trying to build on that. My next race is going to be at Prefontaine, which is always going to be good, always going to be hot, so just trying to get ready for that.
Congratulations. Way to go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie. When we come back, field event competition continues. Men's 110 hurdles, lots left from Puerto Rico.
posición de Lisbeth Félix. Cuando se preparan las condiciones para la final del triple salto para hombres con el regreso a la competencia del 4 veces campeón mundial y doble campeón olímpico, regresando de una operación en su tendón de Aquiles, Christian Taylor.
Tons of talent here in Ponce, Puerto Rico in the Puma American Track League. We got a world record holder in the house. Ryan Krauser, the men's shot put, and he's standing by right now on the field with our Lewis Johnson.
Yeah, well, so he's getting it taped up, chalked up, getting ready to go here in just a minute. Got the hat on still, and Ryan, you've completed what you said, about a 35-minute warm up. So what do you do in that?
Yeah, so as a shot putter, it's full body, so a lot of rotation. We warm up at the beginning similar to a sprinter, and then there's almost like a powerlifting, Olympic lifters type warm up to get the hips engaged, and then a rotational aspect too. So kind of pull from a lot of sports, almost a sprinter with, say, a major league heavy hitter. So a little bit of everything right now. So we're in the first round. I'm after Nick Ponzio. Peyton just threw, so okay. I got to go here pretty quick.
All right, I'll let you go, man. Good luck today.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. The hat is off. He's ready to go. Watch the first throw. Big things could happen. You never know.
All right, thanks so much, Lewis. As we take a look at our field here in the men's shot put competition. And Claude, Ryan Krauser has thrown over 23 feet 4 times. He has thrown over 22 meters, 23 feet is pretty easy for him. 22 meters, 169 times. Put in perspective for people just how insane that is.
Well, first you can start by saying that if you have thrown over 22 meters over 160 times, the next best person throwing over 22 meters hasn't thrown it 50 times.
Wow.
So technically, or mathematically, if you will, that's 3 times better than the next
Absolutely.
individual. But we're talking about a 2-time Olympic champion here in Ryan Krauser.
Olympic champion who is 6th in the world right now, but still early stages of the season for these professional athletes who get ready for the World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon later this summer. Here is the first throw, and Lewis is right. Sometimes Ryan's first throw is his best. Look at that, past that last white line. It's so jarring to see just how far he can toss it, and he seems happy with that one.
You get the impression watching the men's shot put that the other 7 participants, they actually enjoy watching Ryan throw, because he is such an excellent exponent of the craft that you can't help but admire what he does. And he's not just the world outdoor record holder, world indoor as well.
That's right. Representing the United States, you see the University of Texas in him as well, with the cowboy hat, a staple of his competitions. That throw, once again, well over 22 meters. So let's go ahead and make it 170 throws now for Ryan Krauser officially.
And counting.
22 meters 75, the official mark right there, and he is just getting warmed up. So a winning throw, winning smile from Ryan Krauser. One of the big personalities here in the Puma American Track League. As our men's shot put competition is just getting started, that first throw getting finished. And again, we have got 6 throwers in that competition. Krauser finishes up round 1 of throws, so round 2 will begin with Eric Favors right here, who is currently 3rd in this competition. It favors going to be right around that 20-meter mark right there. So Nick Ponzio, another one of the Olympic athletes who throws in the men's shot put. You see him there in the, what is that, black and white stripes? And he's got, I need to get me a pair of those shorts that Mr. Ponzio has right there, Claude.
Better you than me.
He's got the socks. And it's kind of like what people in football say, that the offensive line room can sometimes be the most interesting group, and throwers can certainly be the same way. Let's go down to the field once again here from Lewis.
Take a look at this, Will. These are the lady long jumpers who were practicing something. A few minutes ago, I came over, they were doing TikTok videos. I'm not really well versed in those. Akila, come here for a second. Okay. This is Akila Jones, who is from Barbados. What are you all doing?
We were doing some kind of TikTok thing. Quenisha is the TikTok queen, and she got us doing some kind of, this is the trending dance.
Right. And so for those who want to see that, what you just did, where are they supposed to go?
To Instagram, to TikTok, Akila Jumps. Go follow Quenisha, follow Laurie. All of us got Instagram, so follow all of us.
You know what I love about you and everybody else? You guys have so much fun. You all were cutting up in Bermuda a few weeks ago, right? Everybody got loose, and it was so much fun. What's it like now here to be in Puerto Rico? You guys are jumping and just continuing to build and get ready for a big season.
Honestly, this is my first professional meet in Puerto Rico, and I like the atmosphere. We were watching the high schoolers earlier, and they look real good. And I'm just glad to be helping develop the sport here. And I hope we come back here next year. And I just hope American Track Leagues continues to build, their league and continue to just keep supporting professional athletes.
Right. I was watching you earlier, too, when you were competing. I know the thing didn't go the way you wanted them to. And you were on the phone. So you have a new coach? What was going on there?
Yeah, I have a new coach. Coach Wright over at Life University, and we're just trying to work out a few things. I'm still early. It's only been like 2 to 3 weeks so far, and trying to tackle injuries at the same time, and just trying to hold on to faith and see my way through the dark tunnel at this point, and just keeping positive but encouraging the rest to do their best as well.
I'm sure you're going to do that through TikTok videos, so y'all keep it up, okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right, good to see you.
I love it. I think we needed to get Lewis in one of those videos. I was disappointed he didn't just jump in and start dancing with him.
Maybe he wanted you to come down there and talk.
Uh-oh. There he is. Oh, goodness. Maybe by the end of the night, we'll talk Lewis into one of those. Nick Ponzio throwing now in our men's shot put competition as we'll get you ready for the men's 110 hurdles here after throw number 2, and a big one for Mr. Ponzio.
Ponzio has already approached 22 meters this year. He has thrown 21.83 meters. So don't be surprised to see him approach that here tonight, because the atmosphere is right for big throws.
Certainly is. Wind has died down. It's good weather here. The rain is held off. Knock on wood right now, wherever you're watching the Puma American Track League tonight, because we'd like to keep it that way. But now Ryan Krauser, he's going to get the crowd into it, and recognizes that he can get a little bit of energy from this crowd. Let's see his second throw right here. And throw number 2, again, past that 22-meter mark, as he will wait to see that one. And back on the track, we are ready to get started here in a second. The hurdles are a big part of the competition here today, and the men's 110 hurdles, Claude, one of our biggest events. Hansel Parchment running in lane number 5, gold medalist and quite a talent from Jamaica.
Hansel Parchment has 2 Olympic medals. He won the bronze medal in London 2012 and the gold medal in Tokyo. He's also a world championship medalist. There's also Devon Allen, unbeaten so far this year, number 2 time in the world. And once this is over, he'll be catching bombs from Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 2 in the world against number 3 in the world. Devon Allen, 2nd in the world this year behind Trey Cunningham. Parchment 3rd. Somebody's undefeated streak ends right here. Devon Allen against Hansel Parchment, 2 of the stars in high hurdling. And it's an even start for both of them. A slight advantage halfway through for Hansel Parchment. Here comes Devin Allen on the inside, and Parchment will hold him off. A superstar race, and 13.15 is what it takes to win it. Parchment right ahead of Devin Allen for the win.
Once Parchment gets, by his standard, a half-decent start, the other 7 athletes will have a major problem with him. We saw that last year in Tokyo. Parchment, the weakest part of his race is the start and the first 3 hurdles. But once he gets going and he gets his hips in position coming off the hurdles, it's big problems for everyone else. We saw that tonight. Devin Allen, with his newfound speed in the 100 meters and his unbeaten run so far, couldn't peg him back. But great run by both competitors.
Excellent times for first and second, Parchment and Allen. As Hansel Parchment, the gold medalist, takes first, and he's standing by with Carrie.
All right, Hansel. Big race today. You and Devin Allen out there pounding away. How did this race go for you? Do you need to fix anything? Did it feel like you're back? You're the Olympic gold medalist.
So many things to fix. I'm sure coach is already getting his little book ready, writing on the things I need to work on. But otherwise, I had fun. Good atmosphere. It's warm. So it was good.
What does a guy like you, who knows you're the best, fix after tonight?
It's hurdles. It's all about the best technique. You're working for years, but it just doesn't get as good as you'd like. But I keep on working. I have to work on the start. It's much better these days, and I'm really thankful for that. But I think once I can get the first half together, I should be all right.
Oh, man, we better look out. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Carrie. One of our big stars here of the entire meet, Hansel Parchment, and a great race. You can see how those two gentlemen pushed one another and knew exactly where each other were throughout that entire race. And a good finish for the Tokyo gold medalist. All right, so, Claude, it is now time for our first distance event of the night, the men's 800-meter run that is up next, as Hansel Parchment will take his victory lap here around the track in Puerto Rico. But this is Michael Saruni wearing hip number 2, a personal best for him of 1:43.25, the Kenyan national champion last year.
And that 1:43.25 also represents the NCAA record that he ran in his final season competing at the NCAA level. He also has a 45.4 personal best at 400 meters. And that tells us and the other 7 rivals that if he is anywhere close at the business end of the race, it could be a long evening for everyone.
2 young men from the United States to highlight in this race as well, wearing hip number 4, starting in the middle of the track in this one. Clayton Murphy, the U.S. champion, Olympic bronze medalist, a man that has already achieved so much at this distance representing the United States.
Yes, and he comes into this race with the best personal record. The only person in the race was run under 1:43. He has a 1:42 personal best. So, and he can run the race from the front or from the back. If he can win from running as a leading the race, or he can take it from the back. The problem with wading and kicking is that if Saruni is in decent shape with his 400 meter speed, it could be a tough one for Murphy.
Shane Strike is another man to watch here in this race, wearing hip number 6. His indoor season was phenomenal. He set a new American record in Louisville indoors in the Puma American Track League for 1,000 meters. That's a race that's not run very often, Claude, as you know, but anytime that you can write your name in the American record books, that's a big deal. And Shane Strike will wear hip number 6 in this event, running right in the middle of the track as well.
Yes, you said it aptly. You break an American record, track record, you are motoring. Unfortunately, we haven't seen it translated as yet to the outdoors. And so Shane wants the question answered. Am I a tweener? Meaning, am I at my best running 800, somewhere between 800 and 1,500, which is the 1,000, or am I an 800-meter runner? And I think he can answer that question tonight. We must point out also Ryan Sanchez from Puerto Rico. and he'll have the nation behind him. He's a sub-145 runner.
You are right about that. Sanchez, 23-year-old, who was the Puerto Rican champion at 800 meters last year, fourth at Drake Relays earlier this outdoor season in a loaded field. As the full lane assignments are right there for you as well. Two pacers, John Lewis and Abe Alvarado, who will take this field through very quickly. They want to be in the low 50-second range. And there is your hometown hero, Ryan Sanchez. What a moment this has got to be for him and for Jasmine Camacho-Quinn, who we'll see race later tonight. This crowd has just tripled their sound every time that one of these Puerto Ricans gets on the track.
If you're sleeping, you can know the crowd reaction when a Puerto Rican steps on the track is the most effective alarm you could have.
I think there's probably an alarm for a lot of Ponce, Puerto Rico right now. If anybody is needing to pick me up, no need for caffeine. Just listen to this crowd. It has been electric, and it has not reached its peak yet because Jasmine Camacho-Quinn still is yet to race. And the Tokyo gold medalist will feature at the very end of our meet program here this evening. You want to stick around for that before we go off the air at 8 o'clock. So, Abe Alvarado is without a lane at the moment as they get him situated on the outside of the track. Two pacers, like we said here in this one. And we're ready to go. 2 laps around the track here in Ponce, Puerto Rico. The Puma American Track League opens up its first distance event of the outdoor season. Clayton Murphy, Michael Cerrone, Shane Strike, a talented group on their way.
We see the rabbits. They are our pacemakers, if you will. The instruction, 51.0 for the 400 meters. Right now we see Sanchez has positioned himself just where he wants to be, immediately behind the pace setters. And then we see Murphy in the back of the pack, along with Cerrone.
And still lots of racing left here. CJ Jones is right behind Ryan Sanchez, the hometown hero. Sanchez is going for this, though. They come through right on time. 50 seconds, our first pacer steps off, as does Alvarado, and now we race. Sanchez, followed by CJ Jones, Michael Cerrone, and Clayton Murphy. Everybody's still in the mix so far.
And there is Murphy. He did the smart thing. He hung right behind Cerrone, and as they turned onto the back straight, he made his move. But Cerrone has responded. In the meantime, at the top end of things, it is still Sanchez. But at some point, one suspects he'll pay a price for going out at the 49.9 pace.
Listen to this crowd cheer on 23-year-old Ryan Sanchez. To the final straightaway, Sanchez and Jones. Here comes Murphy behind them. The NCAA record holder Cerrone there as well. The American Clayton Murphy, the bronze medalist, has enough gas left in the tank, and a salute as he crosses the finish line first. What a finish. Clayton Murphy timed it perfectly.
Just as we said previously in the build-up, Murphy can win this race running on from the back, staying off the pace, or he can win this race if he goes with the pace. Brilliant run by Murphy, because he sensed quite early that the rabbits, or the pacemakers if you will, were going a little beyond what they were instructed to do. So he stayed off the pace, stayed right behind Cerrone, and once the pacemakers disappeared, he positioned himself for a strong finishing kick. And here we see, as he comes home, he knows he has the field covered, and he just waltzed to victory.
A win for Clayton Murphy. Now a conversation with our Kerry Tollefson.
Pretty phenomenal race.
Yeah, left it all to the end, but super patient through 600. That was for sure the knock the cobwebs out there, and racing 800, so super happy to see the time and see the finish.
Well, we had Ryan Sanchez out front there, leading the way from Puerto Rico. How dare you pass him?
I know, but this crowd's been awesome all night. It's amazing the support they have. It's been a great meet, great week. So happy to be here, and hopefully not the last time.
You look like your old self tonight.
I felt a lot like my old self, and that's why I told myself when I crossed the line, I was like, he's back. Like, that was the confidence I needed.
He's back. World Championships. Better look out. Good job.
Clayton Murphy back in a big way. Ryan Sanchez, the hometown hero, talking to the home fans right here. The Puma American Track League has been a blast so far. Puerto Rico, a great host. And coming up next, it's the women's 1500 plus the men's 300. Lots more still to come from Ponce.
Damas y caballeros, ahí está este chico que se prepara. 2 meses después tendremos el campeonato del mundo en el suelo estadounidense. Él tiene la medalla de bronce de los Juegos Panamericanos. Se ha dicho presente.
Back in Ponce, Puerto Rico, women's 1500 up next. Will Bowling, Claude Bryan here with you. Let's go back on the field here from Lewis Johnson, standing by with Coach Harvey Glantz.
Harvey Glantz, a name that we all should know in track and field, national champion, world champion, Olympic champion from the 1976 games in the 4x1. And Harvey, you have been coaching Karani James, Grenada's Spice Island gym for several years now throughout 3 Olympics. He continues to run so well. Just give us a sense of just what the relationship has been like, coach, mentor, and just watching him do what he's done.
Well, I met Karani when he was 16 and a half years old, and he came in to the University of Alabama and ran for me as a freshman, won the NCAAs. He won the NCAAs his sophomore season. And then at the tender age of 18, he went on to win the World Championships.
Yeah.
The youngest world champion ever at that event. And then, of course, after that, he went and won the Olympics at 19 years old. So, but we have developed a great relationship. And, you know, one of the things I told him was that I did not want him to be a one-year wonder. Yeah. And here we are now, 12 years later, going on 13. He's won 3 Olympic medals gold, silver, and bronze in 3 different Olympic Games. And right now he's starting his 22 season off with a bang.
Unbelievable. And for those of you who don't know, Karani James had a bout with Graves' disease in the midst of all of this, bounced back like Gail Devers did, the other American track star. What did you see in him through that disease when he was just depleted of energy, couldn't train, and somehow to get back to do what he's done?
Well, I tell you, and people don't realize that every step that Karani went through, I went through as well, because I first noticed that he had the disease when he was coming off the Olympics in Rio in 17. I took him to the doctor. The doctor diagnosed and told me that one or two things was going to happen. He either had cancer or he had Graves, and he hoping that it would be the second because he could recover from that. Right. And but it's been a long haul. We reached out to Gail. Gail was very generous to us with information on how to get back. And I know Bobby Christie did a wonderful job with her, bringing her back to the top. And so with that in mind, we knew that was some kind of record out there for us to go by. But his perseverance, his dedication, his commitment to get up each and every day, do his doctor appointments, take his medication, do all those things like clockwork, is a true dedication to his championships pedigree.
Well, he got that from you, I'm sure. It's always great to see you, Harvin. Great for people to hear from you. The women's 1500 is underway. We'll talk more about everything you guys are doing together. And, Will, back to you for the race.
All right, thank you very much, Lewis. Good stuff, as always, down there on the track as the women's 1500 gets started. And, Claude, here we are looking for Adele Tracy, perhaps, as our favorite, as our full lane assignments are right here for you as well. Tracy from Great Britain ran a career best last week in California, 4:05:52.
Tracy, incidentally, comes from good stock. Her father was a Jamaican high school 400-meter standout. And so we're expecting that Tracy and Lipsy, they should be the ones making most of the running as they enter the home straight, because they're the ones, along with Wilson, they have been below 2 minutes. So you would expect that as the race progresses, they will position themselves for a big kick coming home.
Charlie Lipsy, a talented 800 runner. You mentioned Allie Wilson. She had a massive performance last week in California, 1:58, and she was 6th in the Olympic trials in the 800. She's in the middle of this field as well that is still bunched up. It is anybody's race with the business end of this race still to go.
And that's excellent performance by the rabbit, or the pace setters there. I must use a politically correct term, pace setters.
Right.
2:10 was the expectation. They're right on the nose. So it is setting up perfectly for the kickers, and those we should look to would be Adele Tracy, Allie Wilson, Charlene Lipsy. We must also give an eye out for Ngarambe. Of course, he would probably want to force the pace rather than wait to tussle with those three coming home.
You are right. Yolanda Ngarambe there as well. You've got Adele Tracy running in second, Charlene Lipsy in third, and the 800 speed of Allie Wilson still right in the middle of this pack. The crowd will make a little bit of noise here as we will get to our bell lap. And a big move here on the outside from Sadie Henderson, who's getting herself up into the mix. So Alma Cortez out in front, and here comes Henderson right around her shoulder, and Sadie Henderson is making a massive move. Yolanda Ngarambe from Sweden, the Swedish indoor champion, is there too. But Henderson has made a perfect push, and Adele Tracy is going to join this front group as they make the turn with 200 left. Here comes Tracy along the outside. Ngarambe on the inside. Henderson there too. Side by side they sprint. Does Allie Wilson have time to still ask questions of this top three? Tracy, a perfectly timed push over the last 400 meters. The grimace on her face as she pushes for the line. Wilson up into second, but it will be Tracy holding her off for the win. Just around 4:06 in the winning time, 4:05.96. Just a couple of tenths of a second off of her new career best that she ran last week.
Brilliantly judged the race there by Adele Tracy. She stayed with the chasing pack And again, when you're armed in a 1,500-meter race with a sub-2-minute 800-meter personal best, you can afford the luxury of sitting back and waiting to kick, and that's exactly what Adele Tracy did.
They make it look so easy over that last stretch, getting to top speed. I can assure you that it is not. As Tracy will make her way over and chat with Carrie here in just a moment. You see the Atlanta Track Club group helping each other out, encouraging one another after the end of that race. Good to see that as well. Hey, want to remind you, make sure to tune in to the American Track League's Instagram after our show for a full breakdown and recap from the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic. Tune in right after the show. That's American Track League on Instagram. We got two great 1,500-meter runners down on the track. Let's check in once again with our winner with Carrie.
All right, Adele, big race, all smile.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I had to get a big grin on just there in the last 100 to try and just push on. But yeah, I'm really happy with that.
You're happy with your time. The night seemed to get better as it goes on here. I mean, it's really coming around, and the wind was not a factor.
No, I just kind of wanted to get a hard effort in. Like, obviously, it's a little bit windy, but it's nothing I'm not used to.
Well, you really poured it on with 200 meters to go. Was that the plan?
Really just to, try and go through 800 pretty hard, which I knew was going to happen anyway because Kendra's a really solid pacemaker. So, thankfully, she took us through. I don't know why we actually went through him, but I was just like, from there, just try and push on and work hard. And yeah, I'm happy to take the win.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Good race for Miss Tracy in our women's 1,500. And lots more here left in our final half hour of coverage in the Puma American Track League. But the fun only beginning, Claude, for a league that continues to grow and continues to bring races like this to communities all around the United States. The rest of the schedule of the Puma American Track League is going to continue next weekend in Jacksonville. Go to Music City, USA, Nashville for the Music City Track Carnival. But I know this entire crew has worked so hard to bring track and field to different communities and expose young athletes to some of the best in the world in athletics.
Absolutely will. And one can recall when Paul Doyle conceptualized the American Track League in Atlanta. And now here we are in Ponce, and Tennessee, Florida beckons. So the meet is growing, and you can see a distinct difference between the formative years and where we are today. The competition has gotten better. More world-class athletes want to be involved. The organizational portion of the meet has gotten better as well. So it augurs well for what's to come.
Over the pole vault, this is Sandy Morris, one of those world-class athletes you mentioned. Yeah, that's a good jump. Oh, right at the end, the bar falls. Nearly perfect for Puma's Sandy Morris, who will continue on in our pole vault competition. Silver medalist in the world and in the Olympic Games in her outstanding career. Got Christian Taylor making his return to the runway right there in the triple jump, and you can see he liked that one. The ruptured Achilles a year ago. There is the entire list as Taylor returns from that horrific injury and electrifies this crowd that is certainly watching his every jump and clapping along with every jump. These fans have not just been tuned into the track, but they have been on every jump, every throw in the field too.
Indeed. The pole vault, the men's shot put, the women's long jump, and now the men's triple jump has gotten the attention of the knowledgeable fans here. The venue, I would say, is still holding at about 75% capacity. The weather is holding up quite well. The wind has not been overly burdensome one way or the other, so it's good for the sprinters. Christian Taylor, 15.91 there on that jump. Clearly, he's working his way back into shape.
And that is certainly a long process, too, for jumpers to work themselves up to World Championship and National Championship form. All right, next up on the track, we've got a little bit of an unorthodox event, an off event, if you will, the men's 300-meter final. And, Claude, we have got Stevie Gardner of the Bahamas running in lane number 6 in this one, the 400-meter Olympic champion. He opened up at 400 in 44.22 2 weeks ago at LSU. What a talent this man is.
Yes, he is, and his 44.2 speaks to the potential for a very fast race here. In this event, only 3 men in the history of track and field has been below 31 seconds. And what do all 3 have in common? They are Olympic champions and world record holders.
Right.
Stevie Gardner is an Olympic champion. He's a world best indoors. So this script is still there for him to write. And tonight could be another step in that direction.
Has a national record as well for the Bahamas in 43.48. The world best in this event is 30.81. Gardner already has the indoor 300-meter best in 31.56. He ran that back in January in South Carolina. As he stares on and gets ready, it's definitely a different kind of feel. You start on that straightaway on the far side of the track on the backstretch. Talk me through the training process for a 300, because you get a lot of 200-meter specialists, but you get guys like Gardner as well who are world-class elite at 400 too.
There's not much difference if you're training for the 400. It's basically removing the start from the 400 meters. That's all you're doing. And for someone with the gait of Stephen Gardner, that's good, because then he goes right into the home straight, into the straightaway, instead of navigating 2 curves.
So it is time to get started. Men's 300 final. Stephen Gardner, one of the best ever at 400. Right in the middle of the track in the light blue, running in lane number 6. And we're going to bring them back in. A little bit of a stutter there on the inside. I'm not exactly sure which guy that was, but it was one of the runners on the inside lanes.
Matthew Hudson-Smith, the world championship medalist. He fell from the blocks before the starter could give them the gun command. I suspect he will get a reprieve here. And this gives us an opportunity to mention a few other athletes in the event. There is Christopher Taylor from Jamaica running out of the lane directly in front of Stephen Gardner. He was an Olympic finalist last year in the 400 meters. There is Nathan Allen of Jamaica. There is also Vernon Norwood, and both Allen and Norwood are decorated with global medals.
And you've got a 2019 NCAA champion, Kamari Montgomery, who ran for the sprint powerhouse of Houston on the outside there in lane number 8. A very good field. Similar, Claude, to what we had on the women's 400. Stephen Gardner may run away from everyone right here, but that is more about him than it is everybody else. This is a loaded group of 300 runners.
The other 5 gentlemen may not like that, but looking at the numbers, it should be that way.
Stephen Gardner has the indoor best at 300 meters. Can he take down the outdoor best? Off and running for 300 meters around the track here in Ponce, Puerto Rico. It's a good start for Christopher Taylor on his outside shoulder and for Vernon Norwood on his inside, but Gardner runs that curve to perfection and comes into the straightaway in the lead. The time to beat, 30.81, as he powers through the home stretch, gliding over the final meters. Gardner, a race against the clock, will take the win, narrowly missing out on the 31-second barrier.
He lost that whatever chance he had at a record at the start. He was still in the blocks when the other athletes were getting out of the blocks. And so whatever chance he had of running a sub-31 disappeared at the start of the race.
And here's another look here at his finish.
Well, Gardner's finish is one of those which makes him irrepressible. It's hard to reel him in once he gets a full head of steam. And again, in this particular race, 70 meters in, he was almost in last position.
So Gardner takes the win. We take a break. 100 finals coming up next in Puerto Rico. Welcome back to Ponce, Puerto Rico. It is the Puerto Rico Athletics Classic here, part of the Puma American Track League. Grateful to have you with us, our entire crew. Will Bowling here with you in the booth, and we have got a big crew. Remember to check out Serenity Douglas on the American Track League Instagram. Lewis Johnson doing a great job giving you the all-access look. Kerry Tollefson on our post-race interviews. Claude Bryan, our veteran analyst here in the booth. And it is time for 100-meter finals, starting with the women. Elaine Thompson-Herah will run in lane number 3 here, Claude.
Elaine is a cut above the competition here. Her start in the heat was not exactly what she would have liked. But again, being a cut above the competition, you can get away with that. But I'm sure she would like to put a complete race together to see what the clock gives to her.
And let's check in once again with Lewis Johnson down in the field.
All right, so Christian Taylor is out here, first competition in a long time. I looked over here a few moments ago, and you had a huge smile on your face. Tell everybody why that was.
God is so good. I'm just so grateful to be out here with my brothers. But to be close to home, be in Puerto Rico, this is what I love to do. And so, Lewis, to see you, to be out here, just show love to the crowd, it's just such a blessing.
And I think the smile had something to do with the first jump, right? And how long?
Yeah, over a year for sure. But I feel like just all the help from USOPC, USA Track and Field, everyone's just gone above and beyond to show me support on and off the track. And as I said, just been a blessing.
So you've already had 2 jumps, right? And you're going for your 3rd. How are you building confidence jump by jump that everything is okay?
The thing that used to be my secret is I just had fun, right? Yeah. Like I love competitions. I love just the chase, right? I love that, tapping into that 4x4 spirit. Right. So I don't think I'm an underdog, but I just love being a little bit behind so I can just creep up and steal the show.
4x4 spirit. You want to run the 4x4 next? Is that something you want to do next year?
I'll go back into it next year, but right now I just want to get back to jumps and just having fun.
I noticed you dropped that, so I'm wondering if there was a reason for that.
Yeah, just a little plug for the USOPC, maybe for Paris.
All right. Hope things continue to go well.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Will?
All right, thank you so much, Lewis. Good stuff there as you take a look at Elaine Thompson-Herah, the women's 100 final. Ready to go. And this is going to be a treat to watch her race one more time. How fast can Elaine Thompson-Herah go? She runs out of lane number 5 here in this women's 100 final, and she shows her class all the way to the finish, never in doubt for the 5-time Olympic champion. We watch the clock. It's under 11 seconds. It's 10:93 for the Jamaican superstar.
10:93. She is, I'm sure, very happy with that. Didn't, again, get a great start, but her mid-race lift and the execution through the final 40 meters of the race is right now above par. And she put a great race together. 10:93, I'm sure she'll take that. Just a tad off her 10:87 run earlier this season.
There you see the entire result in a field of ladies that had gone under 11 seconds in their careers. Elaine Thompson-Herah, though, one of the best of all time, second fastest ever at 100 meters. One of the most decorated Jamaican Olympians of all time in this sport. And she's standing by with Carrie.
All right, Elaine, we just said, got the job done.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. First time in Puerto Rico. The crowd is amazing. Just crossed the line healthy. I'm really happy about that.
You know, I've been looking at you all weekend, and you are the fastest woman on the planet. That must be the coolest title ever.
It is. You know, I've worked very hard. Nothing I could do the fastest woman alive. It's a pleasure to put my name in the history books, and I'll continue to work to make more history.
We can't see what you do this summer. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie. Going to be a big summer for Elaine Thompson-Herah. The favorite pretty much every time she touches the track. That's fair to say. Her, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, superstars.
The Jamaican juggernaut.
That's right. No doubt about it. And we go from a Jamaican juggernaut in the women's 100, and the United States men have two of their best here in our men's 100-meter final. Trayvon Bromell, we mentioned him as the fastest man in the world a year ago at 9:76. Marvin Bracey, the fastest man ever in the Puma American Track League at the Ed Murphy Classic 1 year ago in 9:85. They're going to run side by side right here, just like they do in practice.
We spoke of the Jamaican juggernaut. Now we have the American Armada.
I like it. I think you might have just did something.
Copyright.
Yeah, I was going to say, Claude Bryan gets the credit for whoever picks that up, but there is Mr. Trayvon Bromell. And you talk about the 100-meter runners as well for the United States. Christian Coleman already advanced to the World Championships in the 100-meter dash. He's back in a big way this summer for the United States, but that is a hotly contested bid to go from the USA Championships in this event right now and race at home in Eugene. A little bit of added motivation for the American sprinters this year.
Well, there are two gentlemen here, Bracey and Bromell, who would like to get two of those three tickets that will be on offering at the American Championships. We can't forget Ronnie Baker. We can't forget Micah Williams over at the University of Oregon.
Right.
And, of course, Fred Curley, the Olympic silver medalist.
And what a year he's had already this year, too, with a big race last week. You've got Brandon Carnes there on the inside of this field. Kyrie King is another interesting character in this story, a man that ran 9:97, a new personal best last year. It feels like, Claude, at the USA Championships and at the Jamaican Championships as well, there's always that one guy that just has a massive day and makes the team, surprising many. Kyrie King, certainly one of those candidates to make that team as well. So Trayvon Bromell will run in lane number 5. It is not a full house here in our final.
Look for Bromell and Bracey to be the first two to clear the blocks.
Good start for Kyrie King, a good start for Brandon Carnes as well in lane number 3. A big push from Trayvon Bromell. We watch the clock, and it's going to be a good one. And he is fired up at the end of this one. We await the official time, but Trayvon Bromell had a blazing final 50 meters and takes the win.
9:92 for Trayvon Bromell. Season's best. He'll take it.
And he was pushed all the way by Brandon Carnes, but a little kiss to the crowd right there. Is there a conversion on kisses to hundredths of a second that he might have lost there? I don't think he's going to care.
That's above my pay.
Oh, man, we love it. The fun of the Puma American Track League. Part of why we love events like this and love getting the crowd involved. And you can kind of hear the roar of the crowd as they got a kiss from Trayvon Bromell.
There was a no-show there for
Marvin Bracey.
Marvin Bracey.
Yes.
And let's hope that there's nothing seriously wrong with Marvin Bracey.
So we are getting ready to talk with Mr. Bromell here in a moment. And first, though, let's hear from Lewis Johnson standing down on the field.
Well, you can see, Will, the hurdles being set up behind us because Puerto Rico's Jasmine Camacho-Quinn will be on the track for the first time here in country in just a few moments. And the man who coached her to that Olympic gold in Tokyo is right here, John Coughlin. What many don't know, John, is that you had not been with her very long before she went out there and ran that incredible time to win that gold. How long had it been?
Yeah, so basically just the Olympics were on in July/August. The finals actually in August. Heats were in July, but I just started working with her the previous December, so whatever we're talking about, 7 months.
7 months, and you had her ready. When you got to work with Jasmine, what did you see in her as an athlete, and what did you see as her potential before those games?
Yeah, I kind of spoke to her pre-pandemic, broke out. So I was originally supposed to go over in March that year, but then obviously things happened. But I said that she continued on training. But that summer she ran some flat race, and I said, you know something, I think you can win the Olympics. I said something in her, you know. So I said, you just need to tidy up a few things with the hurdling, a couple of technical things, and I saw she could win it from a long way out, to be honest with you, yeah.
And she did that in commanding form. Now that she has accomplished that goal and now moving forward to a new year with the World Championships, how important are these early meets to get her set up for a potential another run at a world goal this time?
Yeah, I think it's pretty important because last year we went on it. We followed a similar kind of schedule and we got a good kind of momentum and pattern going. So we're kind of going, let's kind of follow a similar type of thing. A few little tweaks here and there, but yeah. Get that momentum going again, you know, get that winning feeling.
And for those who follow the sport very well, they know that she had a hiccup, a mishap last week, hit a hurdle, and that was kind of it. How do you overcome something like that mentally and get back in the game here?
I think it's a kind of like an occupational hazard for a hurdler, so it's not really a big deal. But like I think her power levels are gone quite high this year, so that's something. It throws your timing off a little bit. So we just need to make a little few adjustments here with the blocks, maybe spending less time in the air, getting on the ground a little bit quicker. And just small little incremental changes like that, hopefully the adjustment will work.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Looking forward to that. Now, we need to let him go because John likes to go up in the stands and film the athlete as she's running. He wants to do that. And just imagine the roar we're going to hear in just a few moments, Will, when Jasmine Camacho-Quinn is introduced here in Ponce.
All right, Trayvon, you're pumped. You said this is what you wanted tonight.
Yeah, it was big for me. I'm going to be honest. Last year I took a lot of backlash the way I performed. Everybody said I can't run outside of the United States. So my coach told me, put all that stuff behind, focus on yourself. So this year is all about me.
It's all about you. You finished that with a huge celebration. You are fired up going into the summer.
Oh, yeah. It's just we focusing on running fast at the right time. So come here and get the things that we need to get done as far as technique and go back to the lab. We got a month or so away, the trials, and then try to make this team again.
Awesome. Way to go tonight.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Time for a quick break. Camacho-Quinn next in Puerto Rico. Welcome back to Ponce, Puerto Rico. One final race left, and it is going to be the loudest roar that you have heard from the crowd here tonight in the Puma American Track Lead. Tokyo gold medalist Jasmine Camacho-Quinn has got everybody on their feet. A lot of cell phones in the air to tape this one. A hero and a superstar here to these people. She's got a great field with her, including former world champion Danielle Williams, who will run on her inside shoulder. Camacho-Quinn undefeated in 2021 and 2022 until her last race. She is also the current world #1. And they're going to stand them up. So a little bit of time, Clyde, to get your thoughts on this race quickly as Camacho-Quinn is going to try to calm those nerves and go to work.
She has competed since she won the Olympic title. She has competed here in Puerto Rico, but it was in San Juan and it was in the 200 meters. That's a breeze. That's house money. Now it's hurdle. It's your event. It's your money.
A hush over this packed audience in Ponce as Camacho-Quinn gets ready for a 100-meter sprint with the hurdles. We're off and running. Jasmine Camacho-Quinn igniting the home crowd. Danielle Williams is off to a great start in lane 4, as is Alicia Johnson. And here comes Camacho-Quinn to the roar of the crowd. To the line she goes. And Jasmine Camacho-Quinn had a perfect second half of that race. Alicia Johnson runs 12.5. The crowd waits for the official time for Jasmine. She takes second in 12:52. The U.S. indoor runner-up, Alicia Johnson, pulls off a huge win here in Puerto Rico.
A huge upset here. The hurdles, Jasmine fell asleep in the blocks. And for her to come back, first off, take nothing from Alicia Johnson. 12:50, which is a personal best for her. Phenomenal running by Johnson. It begs the question, however, what's going to happen when Jasmine Camacho-Quinn puts a perfect race together?
Right.
It's going to be real scary. But credit to Alicia Johnson. She shocked the rest of the field. 12:50 personal best.
It's been terrific, and the Puma American Track League continues next weekend in Jacksonville. That's all for us here this afternoon. For Serenity Douglas, Kerry Tollefson, Lewis Johnson, Claude Bryant, I'm Will Bowling signing off. NFL schedule release, SportsCenter special coming up next. We'll see you next time in the Puma American Track League.